So we all try to save up for retirement, right? But how do you actually turn that big pile of savings into a steady paycheck you can count on? Well, today we're going to dig into a financial tool that's built to do exactly that, the annuity. We'll look at the two main ways you can go, getting your income right away or letting it grow for later.
This is the big question, isn't it? It's the challenge that so many of us face, taking years and years of savings and turning it into a reliable income stream. It's a fundamental problem, and annuities were actually created to be one of the potential answers.
So what even is an annuity? At its core, you can think of it like a contract you make with an insurance company. You give them some money, and in return, they promise to pay you back with a steady stream of income. But here's the kicker. The one detail that changes everything is when you start getting that money back.
And that brings us to our first fork in the road. Let's start with the option for folks who need that cash flow like yesterday. This is the immediate annuity, what we're calling your income now option.
The whole idea behind an immediate annuity is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You take a lump sum of your money, and it almost instantly starts turning into a guaranteed stream of income. No waiting around.
So how does it happen so fast? Well, it's basically a three-step sprint. First, you fund the whole thing with one single payment. Second, and this is the absolute key, there's no waiting period. No accumulation phase for your money to grow. It gets put to work immediately, and that means you jump right to step 3, the payments start rolling in.
And when we say quickly, we mean it. In most cases, you'll see your very first payment in about 30 days. Yeah, just a month. That's why they call it immediate. It definitely lives up to the name.
Our source material really paints a clear picture of who this is for. An immediate annuity is perfect for someone who needs to generate income right now. Think about someone who just retired and needs to replace their salary, or maybe someone who can no longer work because of a disability. It's for an immediate need.
Okay, so that's the income now path. Pretty straightforward. But now, let's flip the coin over and look at the other option, the deferred annuity. This one is all about grow now, income later.
Right off the bat, the strategy here is completely different. A deferred annuity is not about getting money right away. Nope, it's a two-stage journey. First, you let your money grow over a period of time, and then, way down the road, you turn it into an income stream.
This timeline shows that journey perfectly. You start today by buying the contract, then for what our source material calls a lengthy period, and we're often talking many years, your money is just sitting in a growth phase, accumulating. It's only after all that time has passed that you finally start to get your income.
So what's actually happening during that super important growth phase? Well, this is where you find the real benefits of a deferred annuity. Your interest grows tax-deferred, which just means you don't pay taxes on the gains while they're happening. It's also designed to keep your original investment safe. And unlike the immediate annuity, you often have flexible payment options, so you can keep adding money to it over time.
Okay, now let's fast forward to the future. You've waited, your money has grown, and now you're ready to get paid. You've got choices. You could take it all out at once as a lump sum, you could set up regular withdrawals, or you can do what's called annuitizing it, which is a fancy way of saying you convert the whole thing into a guaranteed income stream, often for the rest of your life.
Our source gives a great example to bring this to life. Think about a new doctor just starting her career. She obviously doesn't need retirement income now, she needs to save for the future. A deferred annuity lets her set money aside and build that wealth for the long haul. It's really a tool for the planner, the long-term thinker.
All right, we've walked down both paths. Now it's time to do what we all love to do. Put them side by side for a direct, head-to-head comparison. Let's see how they really stack up.
This table just lays it all out so clearly. Look at the huge differences. Payout begins immediately versus later. Funding is one single payment versus potentially flexible ones. And it all goes back to their main purpose, right? Immediate annuities are all about creating instant income, while deferred annuities are about building up funds for future income. So of course their main benefits are different. Quick cash flow versus tax-deferred growth. If you're going to remember just one thing from all this, let it be this right here. An immediate annuity is all about distribution. It's about getting your money out. A deferred annuity is all about accumulation, letting your money grow. Distribution versus accumulation. That's the whole game.
So, this brings us to the final and, let's be honest, the most important question. Now that you have this information, how can you figure out what might actually be right for you and your situation?
When you get right down to it, the choice between these two really comes down to this one simple question. Do you need income now, or do you need it later?
Okay, as we start to wrap up, let's just lock in these key takeaways. Immediate annuities, they're for your income needs today. Deferred annuities, they're for building wealth for tomorrow. Your stage in life is really the biggest factor. Remember, an immediate annuity has no growth phase, while a deferred annuity is all about that long-term, tax-deferred growth.
And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Based on everything we've covered, it's never about which annuity is better. It's about which one fits your goals. So take a second and ask yourself, what does your financial timeline look like?